Ayuk right. They motion McCaffrey, backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk! Touchdown! San Francisco! He can run! He can catch!
Getting on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Schultz to the other, going to throw out left, intercepted! Diamador Lenore!
Whoa,
Dak
what a
Prescott
play!
just threw him the ball on the outcut going left to CeeDee Lamb. Diamador Lenore comes up with the game's first big play. Here's Prescott back, has time, throws out left, intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner. Jimmy Ward tipped the ball, and Fred Warner with the INT. They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown! San Francisco! He has thrown one, he has caught one, he has run one.
What's going on, 49er world? Niners lose again, which was expected. Like I wanted this team to win so badly. Like I had hope that they would get it done all week long. And even with the sitting of Brock Purdy, even with that, I still felt like there might have been a glimmer of hope if they could figure out how to run the damn ball. But for some reason, the 49ers, they forgot how to run the ball. They still don't know how to throw the ball. They don't know how to tackle. Like, I'm trying to figure out, in week 12 of the NFL, why is this team struggling with things that they already know how to do? And I think that's what's driving everybody at this point. Every one of you out there watching, that's what's driving you crazy. That's what's driving you to drink. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Nitty Gritty Overreaction Show. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. If this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have Crystal in the building. Crystal, how you feeling? Like, after another, this was an ass whipping though. This wasn't even a loss. Like, I didn't expect us to get like mollywopped, but I didn't have us winning.
So I didn't have us winning. I didn't expect us to embarrass ourselves either. Regardless of who is missing from the field, you have enough out there to not get embarrassed and humiliated. And this literally reminded me of the COVID season, the last time that the Packers beat us. And I think we had like 10 healthy people or something like that when we had to play that game, when we were forced to play that game. That's it. That's what that reminded me of so much, is that right there, because it was embarrassing. The penalties were embarrassing. The bad play calling was embarrassing. Okay, so on that fourth down where we went for it, I think it was 4th and 2. What kind of play call was that? Like,
it was the right play call. He threw it. He didn't expect McKinney to not move. With the safety, with McKinney went and covered McCaffrey. I think if that's the one you're talking about. And McCaffrey, he tipped the ball out of McCaffrey's hand. I don't know if that's where I would have went with the ball as Brandon Allen, because it's a safety on a running back. Safety on a tight end, I'll give it. I'll chance it. But a safety on a running back, and you talk about probably the number one safety in the NFL at that, I don't know if I would have went that route. But I think he thought that McKinney was going to stay in zone, and then he went and played man on Christian McCaffrey. So, it was the play call. I personally think he just made the wrong read. But I don't know who else was open. So I can't tell you yet, because I didn't see who else was open. I just know where he went with the ball. We couldn't run the ball, so I get why you're not running it.
And speaking of the run, we only had 14 attempts in the whole entire game.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. You don't even have your starting quarterback out there.
Okay.
And you only run the ball 14 times.
Yeah. I told
That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, but I told you they were going to come out to take away the run. I said, They're gonna come out. You don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball. Nobody cares about Brandon Allen. Nobody cares about him. Nobody. There's nothing on in the NFL that he's done significantly good that you have to like fear.
Right.
So they sold out to take away the run. Like that's my point. Like they were gonna sell out. It's kind of like what they've been doing to Brock Purdy pretty much all season. We're gonna take away the run, and you're gonna have to beat us. And there's no way you could put Brandon Allen in the same conversation as Brock Purdy. They are different galaxies away from one another as far as terms of talent and what they can do. Even Brock Purdy with his mobility, like I think that was one of the things that was missing. You know, the ad-lib play where he runs a little bit, which leads me to the question, like, why wasn't Josh Dobbs the starting quarterback in this game? Like, I think that's the question I have. Like, why are we not starting Josh Dobbs?
Yeah. We had talked about that earlier, and it just makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense why Dobbs wasn't out there. And then after you saw what was going on with Allen, you still didn't put Dobbs out there. And I think that makes it even worse. You start the game out, stuff starts looking crazy for a little while. Okay, so you reassess the situation and you put Dobbs out there and see if you can get something else going with him. But no.
So what? Okay, so let me ask you this question: what went wrong? Where did it go wrong? Where do you think it went wrong with Brandon Allen? Because I'm trying to understand that. Where did it go wrong with Brandon Allen for you? That you think he should have pulled out Allen and put in Dobbs? I'll be the first to say that I don't agree with that. But I definitely thought that Dobbs should have been the quarterback going in this game. Period. There should not have been a Brandon Allen out there. But he went with Allen, so I'm trying to figure out from you where you felt he should have pulled Allen out.
It was after he'd been out there for a couple of drives, and you could see how he was kind of like weary. I think it's because his other hand, you know, that he has that brace on his finger, and you could just tell him trying to, you know, if you watch, you can tell him being really concerned about that. And I feel like that if you have a healthy quarterback out there who is not doing that, then he wouldn't have anything to focus on but just trying to do what he needs to do, because it seemed like that Allen like held himself back a little bit because they were getting to that finger, which anybody who's hurt is going to be wary of whatever their ailment is. And him not being out there for so long, him not being in live action is what I'm saying, for so long. How long did they say it had been? It's been years. What? 2 years?
Shit, I don't know.
Since
Cincinnati.
he's had live
he got to start in
action,
Cincinnati
right?
when Joe Burrow got hurt, right?
Yeah.
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 But I don't agree with that. I disagree with the broken finger. I mean, he was playing well actually with the broken finger. So I'm trying to figure out that first pass that he fumbled. I mean, he got hit, not in the finger. He got hit, ball got hit, and he got knocked out. And it's not even on that hand. Like he got hit in the ball got hit, and it was just throwing his other hand that had the broken finger. Then he came back out and was completing passes. So I'm trying to figure out.
So you think that the fact that he had the ailment,
I don't think he should have played, period. So let me just be clear. And if he had a broken finger and it was that bad, then he definitely shouldn't have been playing. I got to question Kyle on that. But he got the green light. He was playing, and I don't think having a brace on the finger prevented him from doing anything. Now, he's not the other quarterbacks. He's not Brock, which became a guy that can move out of the pocket. He was kind of in the pocket. Like I was like, ugh. Like, right? So I don't think the finger, I get what you're saying. You're saying if I got an injury, it's gonna hurt, and so it's gonna cause me to play different. But it's football. Like he's hurt. He's not injured. And so like you gotta go out there and play. But that's on Kyle. That's not on him.
Well, I didn't say none of it was on him because, I mean, he didn't choose himself to
No,
go
stuff
out there
is on him.
to play
Some
today.
stuff was on him, but my point is, like, he wasn't injured to not play the game. So I don't want to blame the broken finger on the reason why he should have been pulled. I'm trying to figure out why he should have been pulled out of this game.
Okay, because I honestly didn't think that he did that well today.
He didn't finish that well for sure because of the turnovers.
He had some really bad passes.
All our quarterbacks do,
And
so that's fair.
Okay, but
You don't pull out Brock Purdy if he's your starting quarterback,
no,
right?
but
so they
I'm
made him the
saying-
starting quarterback, so
Okay.
that's probably why he wasn't pulled.
All right,
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why he wasn't pulled.
Okay,
Okay, what?
all right, it's fine.
It's not fine. I'm trying to figure out when you feel he
Because,
should have been pulled. What did he do that made
I
you
told-
feel like he should have been pulled from the game?
Whenever he started making bad passes, you are on the road. You already do not have your starting tackle out there. And he's pretty much, takes care of that whole entire side. So you already don't have that. Then you're already missing you don't have the chemistry down. Like, you don't have none of that down because you're not used to this environment at all out there. You are on the road. It is a must-win game.
But that's the same thing that's the same for Dobbs. He ain't had no environment, no chemistry neither. The only thing Dobbs would have gave us is a spark. That's it. But if you're gonna say chemistry, Dobbs wouldn't have gave you the chemistry. He ain't played football with this team since preseason either. They both have the same amount of preseason time, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just trying to figure out, like people keep saying he was ass, and
He was.
okay.
But we have opinions just like you have an opinion. And the only thing that I'm trying to tell you is I don't watch the film. I don't get into all that, but I do watch football. I watch it a lot. And I feel like that we would have had a better opportunity with Dobbs. I feel like that Dobbs has played more football than Allen has played football.
And he's been trash.
And I feel like,
He has a couple of wins in those football games. Let's pull it. We can pull it up.
okay, so how many does Allen have? How many wins does Allen have?
I think Allen won the one time he started. Maybe?
One time. Right. Got you.
Right. And
Dobbs has more wins than he does.
Yeah, he does. He's played more football.
Okay,
But he's been
so-
ass in those games. I didn't say wins. I said ass. Big difference.
Okay.
Big difference. I'm not
Right.
like I said at the end of the day, I don't know why Allen was starting. But I don't think you pull the guy unless he's injured or really
He
bad.
was injured.
He wasn't. He was hurt. It's a big difference.
He was before he went out there, he was literally hurt. That is, I think.
But
that's
see,
what is
that's
so
funny
crazy.
to say. It's funny because we did not know that until they made mention of it. So prior to that, our arguments were, this who Kyle gonna go with. We didn't agree with it, right? None of us wanted him out there. None of us.
You didn't
But
see the brace that was on his finger when he was on, before the game started?
I didn't watch. No, I didn't pay attention to any of the. Again, you didn't know that until the game started, right? That's my point.
But what I'm saying
But what I'm saying is
okay.
you didn't know he had a
Okay.
brace on his finger until you watched the pregame. Prior to that, we had no idea of a finger. You get what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know. Let's just be fair. We didn't know. When Kyle put him out there and we saw the brace, then we all started formulating this stuff. Oh, he's going to be ass. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. I knew he was going to be that before he took the snap. I just don't think to win this game, that's who we should have went with. I'm telling you why I don't think he was pulled from the game. It's a big difference. Why I don't think he was pulled from the game. I think Kyle sticks with the guy that he game plan with until he can't. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's who Kyle has been. And unless this dude was injured to where his finger couldn't move, then we weren't going to see Josh Dobbs. Do I agree with that? Not at all. Because I was a point in this game where I felt like Kyle did some cool trickery stuff, right? We finally saw a trick play. Finally, we got a first trick play of the season. It came against Matt LaFleur. You knew it was going to either come. It was either going to be on Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, one of them guys. He was going to be. He did it. He did it. It was the one pass that Debo caught for 21 yards, right? And then I was like, okay, we're still in this game. We were down by 10. All right, cool. He started to get into a little rhythm. He started to get high. At one point in this game, he was like 9 for 11 for like 97 yards. I think that was in the first half. Like one point in this game, he was 9 for 11 for like 97 yards. Can't remember off the top of my head. I'm like, okay, he might be getting into some type of a rhythm. It took, because we got to go back to the beginning of the game. This game got messed up offensively. First of all, the defense was ass. Second of all, it got messed up offensively because of the holding calls, and we couldn't convert on the third down because of penalties. That slowed the offense down. Remember, we had zero rushing. We couldn't even rush the ball. Then he started to get into a little rhythm. They started all these quick throws. I'm like, all right, cool. He's getting into a rhythm. Then he threw a nice little dime to George Kittle to bring this game within 10. We get the ball back at the half. Defense goes out there, does their thing. We get the ball back at the half. And that's when you knew, like, there's no way. Like, I didn't think anybody would have been able to come in and win this game if it was going like that. And they must have called just about every penalty in the book that you could call when it came to the San Francisco 49ers, because and they called it twice on us, right, on special teams. I think we had 2 holding calls. That one for 87 yards was the most critical one in the game, because it gave this guy an opportunity, Brandon Allen, in the red zone to put up another touchdown. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen that way. Then we just kept digging ourselves a hole. And then after that, I felt like in the fourth quarter, it should have just been Dobbs and what's his name? Jacobs. Like, fourth quarter, just give us Dobbs and Jacobs. At this point, we're not going to win the game. So you might as well see what these guys are going to do, evaluate what they do. Now you get the real game. You could get you know how Kyle Shanahan should have treated this game if he was going Brandon Allen? He should have did it how he did the preseason game. Allen get the half, Dobbs get the half. And then see what you're working with moving forward, especially when you got this guy named Daniel Jones out there kind of like lurking in the 49ers, talk. Then you can say, hey, man, let's go make an opportunity, because I didn't really like what I saw from our 2 backup guys, and we can, like, really ice Brock Purdy. You think Brock Purdy even comes back, Peachy? Like, do you think Kyle's going to bring him back?
I don't know.
Would you want him to bring him back?
He had the second MRI, and
which we didn't know about until.
Of course not, because we don't know anything, because he's just a liar, and he likes to keep everything until he has no choice than to bring it out. And he's also a liar. Did I say that? Yeah, he's a liar. So I don't know. He's supposed to play next week. As far as, they're hopeful that he's going to be able to go next week. So, I mean, on to Buffalo, I guess.
I just don't know how we move on to Buffalo after getting like molly-whopped.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I didn't think Jordan Love played great football in this game. I think Matt LaFleur's game plan, I think they took advantage of the opportunities and they capitalized off their opportunities, and the 49ers did not.
But yeah, if you see the weaknesses that the other side of the ball has, LaFleur is definitely smart enough to take advantage of that.
So he's smart. He's smarter than Kyle Shanahan. So we got the wrong coach.
In this
game, they 8-3.
In this game against us, he definitely outcoached Kyle in this game.
So Kyle has lost to all the coaches he's never really lost to before.
Yep, that's
year.
right. It's just that
we
kind of year.
We did lose to McVay, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just been that kind of year. It really has. It was horrible. At the end of the game, when, he went across to, get his hug or whatever, and waiting on Kyle to, I don't know what he thought Kyle was going to do. I mean, on top of that, he also has Saleh that is helping out with that defense. So that also is a huge help. Now, he wasn't there because I think he's with his family today or whatever, but he was there all week. So I kept saying that watch Salah go to Green Bay and make a huge difference because, man, you could just tell. It was almost like it was a screenplay. And everything right there was just right there for them to do. Everything we tried to do, they stopped it just like that. And that's one thing that, I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, I personally believe that this season is over. I don't believe that we're going to make it to the playoffs.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Are you? No. You don't got to say that. That's just your opinion. That you said it. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you disappointed? Like how do you feel?
Oh, I'm greatly disappointed because the 49ers dropped games that we should have never, ever dropped.
Yeah, them games, those three games.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 games are haunting us now.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know how I feel. I feel cold because the expectations were that we were going to be a dominant team.
Yes. That's right.
Because we were getting back dominant players.
That's right.
And with or without, and just hear me out real quick, with or without CMC, we still were dominant. I'm not wrong about that. We were dominant. We were ranked top in rushing, top 5. Jordan Mason was damn near top 2 until you sat him down like a game and he got injured in the game and whatever. And then you get CMC back and you just stop using Mason, that the league couldn't stop him. I don't get it. I don't get that part of Kyle Shanahan. And so if you're not going to be, Kyle Shanahan's offense won't work unless the run game works. Does that make sense? So if the run game doesn't set the tone for Kyle Shanahan's offense to ignite, can he scheme open guys? Yeah, for sure. But you're talking about in an offense with a quarterback that you just said has 2 wins in his whole career. Hasn't started a game since whenever, and he needs to play action pass so he can read half of the football field and throw better passes down the football field and not have all these crazy tight windows where he was trying to throw the ball. So, yeah, if he was ass out there on the football field, fine. But dang, we didn't even set Brandon Allen up to be great, to be good. So I thought with his opportunities, he did what he could. We couldn't run the ball. How many yards we had? 53? 50? What did we finish with in rush? No way. I know we didn't have 44 yards.
That sounds about right.
4 yards on 16 carries. And that right there is what's got me wanting to just scream. That's not, I talked about it with John. You got to get to 30 plus. The Niners got to get to 30 plus. And that's why I wanted Josh Dobbs out there, because at least on plays that may not look good, he probably would have been able to run the ball. He probably would have been able to keep the chains moving, and that would have gave you more opportunities to score. When you're dealing with a quarterback without any mobility at all, the times that Brandon Allen tried to take off and run, it just looked like it was Tom Brady slow. He might have been a little bit faster than Tom Brady. It looked very slow motion-esque. And that's why I don't get it. I can't figure it out.
Now, when he decided to take off and run, it reminded me of how Aaron Rodgers looks now whenever he tries to do that.
Yeah, 40.
It was literally like that.
Wait, was Brandon Allen 40? He been in the league for a minute. That's why I asked. Is he older? Maybe that's what it is. That's another reason why he should have started Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Go with the youth, man. At some point, you got to accept the fact that the older players are older. Football's faster. It's a little different. And go with some of this young energy, man. Especially in a game that There's no way Kyle Shanahan thought that they were going to find a way to win this game unless Green Bay made mistakes. Green Bay didn't make any mistakes.
Yep.
They didn't. They capitalized off of ours.
He's 32.
That's old.
Which is my point. Which is all I'm saying. That's what's. All I know is we know how this offense works. You set up the run to be able to set up these pass plays, the play action. All this works together. It has to work together. That's the only way that this offense works.
Got to find a way to run the ball.
It all goes together. You just have to figure out a way to get it done. We did have some really bad penalties. This is probably Pooney's worst game. No, it is Pooney's worst game since he's been here. But you don't have Trent out there. And I don't know, because like I said, I don't dig into the film. That's your job. Speaking of which, Breezy will have his film up on the Patreon this week. So be sure, and if you are not a member yet or signed up for it, go sign up for the Patreon. Check out Breezy's film study. It's really awesome, and you will not regret doing that. But I don't know how they had him structured since Trent was missing. So I don't know how.
There's no way the San Francisco 49ers are going to win another game, Peachy.
That's what my whole point is, because then
I just wanted you to get to the point. I just needed you to get. You ain't even got to sit there and sugarcoat the junk anymore. At this point, somebody tell me how they can win a game. If the coaching is and the players are playing like, there's no way. We're gonna lose to the Bears. We're gonna lose to teams that are gritty. And the reason why they can't win games is because they have zero grit. Right. I can't believe. And Debo, you know what? I hope you watch the show, and if you block me, then you a little bitch.
Yeah,
Check this out. How you drop these passes, bruh? Like, I mean, the ball literally go in your hand. You can't be a top dominant player dropping passes. I don't care if they was high.
Moving so slow.
I don't I don't get the slow movement. I didn't see the slow movement. I didn't see the slow movement.
It's like
you lost me. You lost me on the slow movement.
I'm used to Debo being a quicker.
Which he was quick on the kick return. That got called back because it was a crazy dumbass hole.
No,
he got the screenplay developed.
I'm talking about whenever he's catching passes. I'm talking about like when he goes up, he just looks like he's not expelling the energy.
That ball came in hot, high, and fast. And I think Debo was waiting for it to come in a certain way or not waiting for it because he saw the safety right there. Yeah. That was a bad read. Like, that was a bad read. It just went to him, and he has to catch it. That was a bad decision by Brandon Allen. But if their quarterback's going to throw into a tight window, you got to be ready, my guy. You got to be ready.
That's what I'm saying, that it's like his quickness. Like, he used to have this quickness where I've
never seen him have
like
quickness.
He slowed down just a little bit.
Not like that. Debo's not route running, pass catching. Debo needs the ball in his hand with space. He's not Jawan Jennings. He's not Brandon Ayuk. They don't have quick hands. Debo doesn't have quick hands. If you throw the ball in the air and it's man to man, Debo could go up and get it, right? But we're talking about him in zones. Good zone guy, struggles in man, but that ball's got to get there. For some reason, Debo wasn't expecting that ball to come in hot. I'm not sticking up for him because he has to catch that pass. The second one was high, like way over his head. He had to jump. And so, like, I don't know if Debo was thinking of catch, turn, run, make a big play, or like we don't know what's in his head. Yeah. But I didn't see him slow. I mean, you're talking about his reaction time. Could be. Don't know what it is. All I know is he's got to catch. He's got to catch the pass. I don't give if he's slow, turtle slow, Ninja Turtle slow. He got to catch the pass. The ball can't go through his hands ever.
Right.
And then he tips it. And the first one just happens to be where he shouldn't have threw the ball in the first place, because you got to know that the top interception leader in the league, one of the top ones, and Xavier McKinney's just waiting there lurking for the ball. We got a new member. Shout out to my man Ralph. I see it right here, baby. What's going on, Ralph? Thanks for being a member, man. Appreciate you, dog. All I know is he gets all the smoke. He's gonna get it, and it's gonna come. And I can't, on his podcast comment, bruh, you got to catch that pass, bruh. You got to catch that pass. Like, say it to him. Let him know. Yeah. Hold him accountable. That's what we need to do.
T.O. will, or somebody else will.
Hold him accountable. Hold him accountable. Please hold him accountable. My thing is, Debo's most effective in space. The 49ers are struggling to create space this year. And, we don't get the screenplay to Christian McCaffrey to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. That's why
you could have been did that. You could have been did it. You could have been doing screens. Kyle has gone away from the screen game, man.
I'm telling you.
It's just not the game. It's not Kyle Shanahan's. I don't know. Yeah. Is this what the Super Bowl hangover is like? Can you give me a quick reminder? Because your son is a Eagles fan. Mm-hmm. And they lost.
Yep.
And then they sucked that next year because we beat the shit out of them, remember? Mm-hmm. We beat the snot out of them. Are we going through that currently? Is that what we're feeling right now? Is that what the Super Bowl hangover is?
It seems like it, man. Just
like, are we supposed to be bad this year because of that? Because we got beat by the same team. They got beat by, right? Right. Almost the same way, yes. Right? Because they should have won the game too. No, are you making this up? No, are you for real? All right. No, it's not about the Eagles, but I just wanted to know if you're an Eagle fan watching this, is this what you experienced? Like you had a decent, and then you played a team in December, and they just snatched your soul. Have the 49ers got their soul snatched? And if so, by which team? God, who snatched the Niners' soul? Because it's missing.
I don't know. I honestly started feeling that way with that Rams loss. That was a bad loss.
I agree. Big Daddy Niners member for 11 months going on a year says Debo needs to be pushed just like the kicker. Somebody need to push him. Like, somebody needs to get up in there and say, do your job.
Yep.
And I don't agree with the pushing, but somebody needs to say, hey, do your job. Because his job is to catch passes. And to, like, go back to what Debo did to Tabor Pepper. Pepper got in it and Pepper got shoved. Y'all keep forgetting that Pepper says something, but nobody want to talk about what Pepper said because we don't know exactly what he said, but he says something. And that's what initiated the shove. So minus the shove, all Debo said to Jake Moody was lock in. Sorry. That's what he needs to say. Lock in. Somebody needs to go up to Debo Samuel and say lock in. You know what I mean? Somebody does. Jake Moody, 1 for 1, 48-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Only positive thing we got from these games.
Wild. That's wild.
I was waiting for somebody to say this, X-Man 2, and I was waiting for this. I didn't think anybody was going to say it because initially when Debo tipped that first pass, when he tipped it, do you know who was on the football field?
Ronnie Bell.
And I was like, damn, they about to blame Ronnie Bell. They about to blame Ronnie Bell for just being out there on the football field, and that's why Debo dropped that pass. Anyway, it is what it is, man. The Niners are just struggling at this point, and I just don't think they got what it takes to do anything.
Right.
Hopefully they continue to show up and play football, but it is going to be the Niners with all the penalties look like the Bad News Bears. Niner Cali Boy says this team from Kyle Shanahan down played like they've already have Cabo booked. You know what, Niner Cali Boy, they better not go to Cabo. They better cancel the Cabo trip, right? Cancel the Cabo trip and get into the lab. I can't wait to do more. I can't wait till we're mathematically out. I have so many shows and takes that I want to do, but I can't talk it now because we're still not mathematically out of it. I know we are physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Any more Alees I'm missing? Like, we're out. But mathematically, we're still not out, Niner Cali boy. 21 months. God, that's almost 2 years. Wow. Thank
It's
you for
almost
being
as long as me, Callie.
Oh, man, he been here for a minute.
That's awesome.
But, you know, like, so Peachy, like, they don't need to go on any trips. They need to go. The only trip they need to go on is maybe some mushroom trips so they can get back together and figure out how they can sink in on a different level. Because right now, this team, it's not a team. This is not a team. Where was Diamador Lenore today? Where was Fred Warner today? Where are my dogs?
Where was Warner? That's Lord. That's another subject.
You get what I'm saying?
What was he doing today?
Where my dogs at?
I didn't hear his name called one time today.
Where my dogs at?
Not one time did I hear Warner's name today.
We had 0 dogs out there on the football field. We couldn't even tackle Peachy. They hit Josh Jacobs and couldn't tackle him.
It was so bad. You were right about that, Matthew. That's the only thing that can save this team.
I don't even think Jesus, and I'm going to be honest, and I know Jesus can do the impossible. He could turn water into wine. I don't even think Jesus can make this team better, yo. I just don't. Because for somehow, you know what, Peachy, somehow this team, I will put out that, and this is not an excuse, but we're banged up, we're injured. And that's the facts. But what happened to the effort?
Right.
What happened to the next man up?
Yep.
What happened to the mentality? What happened to the grit? Now, I can't blame the young players if they're not being utilized. It's not on them because they gotta be put in the game. And that's why we gotta shift it back to Kyle Shanahan, because it's like, Kyle, it's not working. So fix it. And if Kyle's not fixing it, then what do we do as fan base? Like, what do we do if our coach isn't the one to fix it? Because our coach has to fix it. Our coach knows the problems. He knows the weaknesses. He knows the areas. And he has to be able to implement a new blueprint, a new game plan, a new way, a new method, a new something. Because if he doesn't, we're going to get the same results.
Right now we have 6 losses. If we lose to Buffalo, we'll have 7.
And what can we finish if 7? We can go 9-7.
It's 10-7, right?
10-7. So if we can get to 10 wins, we still have a chance to get in. But we need some teams to lose. Like, thank you, right, Cowboys, for beating the Commanders.
That was crazy.
Thank you, Cowboys. Yes. We needed the Bears to beat.
It was close.
The Vikings, but they didn't. So there's a little bit of help that we can get.
Yeah. So worst case scenario is if we lose to Buffalo next week and then we lose the following week, then we will be mathematically eliminated, because I see teams that are getting eliminated at 8. At 8 losses. They had them on social media.
Not in the NFC though, right? Because the NFC is a little different.
No. Okay. Not in the NFC, but in the AFC, I see 8 lost teams that got eliminated today.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. But the NFC is different because the North is strong, and then everything else is the West is mid, and then everything else is kind of weak. So let's just say if Atlanta, well, we can't. Let's say if Atlanta loses, and Tampa ends up back in first place in that division, that's going to be crazy. But we need Atlanta to continue to lose because we're playing for that 7th seed. So it's just, we really needed to win. We really need to win because there's no way Green Bay. Well, I'm lying. Green Bay can still catch up to who's in first place. The Vikings. Are the Vikings in first place? The Lions. Sorry.
Yeah.
So there's they still got to play each other. This chuck is crazy. But either way, those teams are going to be wild card teams. Like, you're going to have 2 wild cards from the north. Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy. So who's going to get that last one? And we got to hope the Commanders continue to lose. Right? Because who's in charge of the East right now?
I think Washington still is.
Oh, so they still got that seat. So they got the seat. Okay. Damn. We're talking about playoffs because we're not mathematically out. I know we are out. It doesn't look good for the San Francisco Eagles. Thank you, great one. The Eagles are the East. So that's why we needed the Commanders to lose. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right. So we need the Eagles to beat the Rams.
Which are playing right now, as a matter of fact.
Which are playing right now. That's why I keep saying, like, and look, I just want to make it to the playoffs. I don't care how we get in. And listen, and I'm very realistic. There's no way we're making it to the playoffs. But there's always a way if things just start to happen, in your favor. And things can happen. I just think that the Niners this year, they are just they're bruised, they're battered, they're beat up, and they're the most undisciplined. You know what? PG, they read a stat. They announced the stat. We are the 3rd least amount penalized team in the league. And coming into this game. But all we saw was penalties in the last 2 games. I guarantee you we won't be 3rd anymore about far as being least because 9 penalties this game.
My thing is the reason why that I say that it's over and we're not gonna make it to playoffs because I don't think it has to do with just the bodies that we have on the field. I think it's mentally setting in on some of these players. I think so too. I really think
physically
like
too.
Somebody had said earlier, in layman's terms, like they're over it. They're just ready to go forward and look to next season.
Is that the vibe you get? Is that the vibe you get from the players when you like? Because I don't get that vibe from the players. I'm not saying that they're not tired, fatigued, like mentally out. I don't think they for some reason they don't think it's over in their head. It might be an illusion. I just don't get that vibe from them. But the way they play, I'd be like, the fuck? What why are you even out here?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the like. All right. What I'm trying to say is when they talk, I don't get that vibe.
Yeah.
But when they show up, the body language seems
all these missed tackles and
I
just
can't explain
not trying and not.
I can't explain the missed tackles.
Not reaching out, like just.
How you swarm to a guy and he still break the tackle for 5-6 more yards? How you swarm to the dude and he still get positive yards? How you stop him and he just keeps his feet churning and you let up? It doesn't make sense.
And not only did that happen with Josh Jacobs, but it also happened with that other one that they put out there too, whatever his name was. I forgot
the second running back that was dancing on us too. Yeah, yeah. You talk about Emmanuel? Oh, you talk? Who you talk about? Emmanuel Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah. I was like, what?
I'm trying to figure out how they had 5 or 6 bodies on a guy, and he still got 3-4 plus more yards. It didn't matter. It's like the run defense could not stop the run.
Yeah.
Which was messing them up in the past. It made them so off balance, they didn't know how to defend. Right before the half, y'all talk about Jesus. Jesus came into the San Francisco 49ers right before the half. Because he said, I know your name is Christian, and I know you're Christ-like because you're named after my son, but I'm not going to let you catch this pass. Jesus was trying to help. He was trying to help the Niners. Christian Watson dropped the pass.
That was wild when he dropped that pass. I was like, oh
wide
my goodness.
Open. He was wide open. He dropped a wide open. I was like, God, I don't know what I did to
I
get
know you're listening.
I know you listen. I don't know what I did to deserve that blessing. And at the end of the day, he gave the Niners an opportunity, and they got it. And then Eric Saubert said, yo, I'm just going to hold. I'm going to hold. Why?
He wasn't just holding. He was holding. Like he just kept on holding. They were saying, like, if he had a let go, I think Tom Brady said, if he had just let go.
I think at this point, I don't want. Okay, all right. I don't mind us, crapping on the players. I don't care about it. I don't want anybody gone. I want this team to finish out the season, and then what they do with this team, they do with this team. Like coaches, players, whatever they got to do, it's definitely about the team. We just got to get to the end of the season. The only reason why I'm talking about the playoffs, guys, is because mathematically we're not out. And yeah, if we're not out, then we got to still try to prepare for an opportunity because you just got to get in. I know this team doesn't look good, but we also didn't have players out there that would probably help us to look a little bit better. So we got to factor in Nick Bosa not being there, Trent Williams, and your damn starting quarterback. Peachy, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
If Brock Purdy was out there, how do you think this game would have went? Thank you for the super chat. We'll get to it. I'll make sure I pull it up. I want Peachy to answer this question, though. If Brock Purdy was out there, do you think the Niners would have still been embarrassed?
I think that we still would have lost.
Okay.
I don't think it would have looked like this.
Okay. That's fair.
But I still believe that we would have lost this game, though.
Yeah, damn, that's perfect because I was gonna say I think it would have been more competitive. I don't know if we would have won because just the way we play football.
Right.
If they would have sold out to take, but see that's the thing. I don't think they would have been able to take away the run if Brock played as well because they knew Allen wasn't going to be mobile. And so if Brock would have played, possibly he would have forced that defense to play a little bit more honest, right? Opposed to stacking the box because if he took off and run. So I don't know, but I'm with you. We would have lost, but the game, in my opinion, would have been a lot more competitive. Kyle would have probably had a little bit more trust, but, I mean, he didn't play. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Brock wasn't out. That's the reason why I asked you is because Brock wasn't out there, and a lot of the 49ers just missing some key pieces, to say at least compete in certain games. Moving forward, and we'll get back to that after the Super Chat contribution. Moses Joyner says, we got no fight. We still have some dogs. We just soft now. What do you think about this comment? He says, we have no fight.
That's kind of... Yeah, I mean, like I said, the defense certainly at times just looks like they just don't have it in them. Now, they were out there probably longer than they need to be, but we always say that, and then we always say, you're on defense, you know what you got to do when you get out there. Can't worry about being tired. You got to play, you got to go out there and do whatever. Because it just looked like for a while that they just didn't care. They were just like, he's already went past, so, just gonna let him go past. Because some of the tackles, like some of the missed tackling was so bad that's what it looked like. They're like, well, I got him last time, so you can get this time. I'm not expelling all my energy out to get him.
I've never seen, like, no. You're saying right. My issue was this, right? Fred Warner, if you're in on that pile, I've never seen him being driven back. You think he's dealing with an injury or an ailment or something?
There's no telling. It would not surprise me if something comes out. Just like you say, on Monday, there's always something crazy that comes out. So it wouldn't surprise me because that's what it looks like. There's something going on with him. I'm telling you.
He's been playing really, 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 bad football lately. Fred Warner has not been playing good football. Moses also said, we still have some dogs. And I agree, man. I'm not saying that, like, I think Demo's a dog. We do have dogs. I'm not going to go through the whole roster. I think there's dogs here. But I don't think these dogs know how to play. I don't think they know how to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for some reason, like, they're just not playing well. Defensively, I don't think they're, I'm going to be honest, like, I don't know if Green Bay prepared for them to take away Jawan Jennings, but honestly, I wouldn't know because it's Brock to Jennings. We had Allen to Jennings. I don't know what that rapport is like. But I feel like it would have been a little bit different if Brock was out there. See what I'm saying? Because he knows Jennings. And so, like, it just makes no Ricky Pearsall targets today. Like, really? Really? Not one? He was out there in the football field. I saw a Chris Conley target.
Yes.
Which makes sense because that's who he practices with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what happens when you the third string, second string,
Right.
or whatever. You gonna practice with those.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that should have been PI, but they don't call it because he doesn't sell it right.
That was crap. That was
he
that was a bad
right.
miss right there.
It was a missed call, but he didn't sell it right, and that was the one time
Right.
there was, that was for Brandon Allen. That was the right read. There was no safety over the top. It's your man 1-on-1. You throw the ball. It just was poorly executed. I guarantee you, if you ask Kyle, he'll be like, yeah, we just didn't execute. He's gonna be talking about that one play. That one play right there. So it's just a lot. So you're right. I agree. We have some dogs. We just not playing. We just not playing well. Like the Niners aren't doing anything well. Thank you, Jax Knox. She just gifted a membership to our guy Ghost. What's going on, Ghost? Welcome back to the Breezy Bunch crew, man. Appreciate that. Make sure you thank Jax as well for the membership. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I never thought there was going to be a chance I'm lying. When it was 17-7, or that was the score, 17-7, 10-point game, I thought we had an opportunity.
Me too.
I did. Oh, it was 10 points. We were down by 14 points, and I still thought we had an opportunity. But for some reason, we could not figure out how to hold on to the mother freaking football. It was like this, PG. This is how I took it. It was penalties in the first half. It was turnovers in the second half. And that's the pot of losing games.
Yeah, that's true.
You fix the penalties. Now you turn the damn ball over.
Right.
Like, what are you supposed to do?
You
know what I mean?
Great One has a really good comment here.
Go ahead.
Said at the Wayne Breezy, NFL Purdy would have made no difference. Didn't Purdy just put up 17 points to a lesser Seattle team?
I know you don't like Purdy, but you would have to think that Purdy would have made a bit of it. At least I would have thought that Purdy being the starting quarterback would have made a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I do.
You know what I mean?
Too.
Just off the off script plays. What we were limited to, Great 1765, in my opinion, were the plays where the defense has been selling out and knowing Kyle Shanahan's plays all season. Mm-hmm. The reason why some of these plays have been extended is because of Brock Purdy's ability to move outside the pocket. He'll take off and run. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, on one of those scramble plays in that Seattle game is when he actually hurt his shoulder. I think it's the one he dove forward and landed on his shoulder.
That's what they said, yeah.
That's what they're saying. I'm not saying that's it. So I think because of that ability, the Packers defense knew you weren't going to get any of that. That's why everybody is saying, why are you not playing Josh Dobbs? You watch Josh Dobbs. You watch Josh Dobbs in the preseason on the goal line.
Yep.
Fumble, bumble, stumble. Look like the play was dead and get you a touchdown. He's a playmaker.
Yep.
So why is he not playing? Now, the reason why I was going back and forth with Peachy earlier was because I said that's why he didn't come in the game. Because I think Kyle goes with whoever he starts the game with, he's going to finish with, unless the quarterback got injured. Then he has no choice. But my thing is, why is he not even starting? That let me know right there that Kyle does not give a fuck about this game. Kyle wasn't trying to win this game. Kyle probably went to Trent Williams and said, you're not playing. Opposed to Trent Williams not being able to go. Kyle made that executive decision. I'm not putting you out there, dog. We're not even going to really try to compete in this game. We just going to see what happens. If it goes our favor, it goes in our favor. I'll look like a genius. If not, I didn't have my starting quarterback out there. See what I'm saying? So it worked. It's going to always work in Kyle's favor. You know, it's going to work in Kyle's favor. It seems to be like. Super chat contribution. Moses. Why do I want to say Moises? That's the name of my app. Moses Joyner says we really need Bosa. Let's start right there. Let's break down each sentence. I like when people write sentences and they super chats, and we could break that down to points. We really need Bosa. Peachy, Bosa wasn't there, and I think today was the first time I saw how effective he has been in the run game this year.
Yeah. I would agree with that. We were definitely missing that.
Oh, first game of the season, and nobody's going to believe this, but I got the stats. Motherfucker, I do. I sat there and typed all this shit up during the game because I was bored. First game of the season, the 49ers gave up 100 yards to a running back. And I know y'all be like, nah, first game of the season. First game of the season. Here we go. Week 1, Breece Hall, 54 yards. Week 2, against the Vikings, Ty Chandler, 82. Week 3, Kyron Williams, 89. Week 4, Ramondre Stevenson, 43. Week 5, James Conner, 86. Week 6 or whatever, Walker, 32 yards. Kareem Hunt, 78 yards. Ezekiel Elliott in week 8, Week 8, 32 yards. We had our bye week. Even coming off the bye week, Walker, the third, 54 yards. Not one running back or quarterback has rushed over for 100 yards. Now, total combined, obviously, yes, but just a single back or a quarterback or a receiver or anything until this week. 106 yards from Josh Jacobs. I'm going to give Josh Jacobs a round of applause. I don't give him that much. He balled out. That dude balled out. He put the team on his back because they were.
He got 3 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, but they didn't. Oh, please, God, tell me I had no choice but to start him in my fantasy.
That's what I was thinking about our fantasy show.
31.60 points if you started him. 31.6. Please, God, please tell me I had no choice but to start. I don't start players when they play my team. Please tell me I had no choice, God. Now, if you want to do something for me, Jesus, do that. Where was the coaching to him? And he wants to know where the coaching was. Let's break down the coaching on 3 levels. Let's start with the offensive coaching. Like, what did you want differently from the offensive coaching? Whether it's play calling, whether it's utilization, like what do you think needed to be different offensively?
I thought the play calling needed to be different. I feel like that it was lacking a lot. Now, we had that razzle dazzle play that we had, that flea flicker play that we had, which was fine. I just felt like that there should have just been more like motion, movement, something to throw Green Bay off. I felt like that we had enough to where Kyle could have at least attempted to do some things. And it just seemed like after a while that he was just like, we're just go out there and play football. That's what it seemed to be like towards, especially like in the fourth quarter, like late in the fourth quarter. It just seemed just, no tricks. I'm not even looking at the play sheet. Used over a couple of times, he normally has the play thing up there. He didn't even have it up there.
Yeah, like it's tough until I watch film to talk about Kyle Shanahan's play calling, because when I watch the film, there's always somebody messing up on the play. When you watch the game, it's just like, why that play? Like the 4th and 2 play. You just talked about it. Like, okay, Kyle has the guts to go for it on 4th and 2, but why is that the play? Like, why is that the play? Like, why does he go to Christian McCaffrey? Now, we always say, go to your check down. So he did, unfortunately, on that particular play, he was being covered. So it failed. That was another turning point. We're not even really talking about like giving them the ball back there when we were driving. So, yeah, like I don't know why, you saw him try to go to play action and he fumbles. He gets hit. So, like, I don't know what we want him to do. Like, I don't know what we want the play calls to be. Since you talked about play calling offensively, I'll touch on the utilization. I'll talk about, like, working players in. When Christian McCaffrey needed a breather, you brought in Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason came in on the first play, got you 16 yards. I'm not sure if they would have been able to adjust or stop, but he was definitely a change of pace back that you needed. And I think that's what I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see more of the running back that got you to this point, basically to 500 football, where you had to lean on, you had to depend on Jordan Mason. He seems to be healthy, so why not use him? Like, at this point, it just makes no sense to go with a guy that doesn't have it yet. And I'm sorry, he may not have it all this season because he needs time to get back to football shape. There's no training. There's no there's none of that. Christian McCaffrey did none of that. And so, like, you're asking him to get in shape during an actual game. Nah, like, go with what's been working. And if you put him out there, let him be the change of pace back. You got a rookie in Isaac Orendo that can give you an explosive run. I understand that there are liabilities out there sometimes on the football field. I understand they're going to be subjected and probably have a bad pass protection every now and then. I get it, but we're just talking about if you know you're going to run it. Now, offensively, if Kyle can figure out how to like work his roster, I think we'll start to see more bright spots. I know you're not going to rotate a quarterback in there. That's fine. But the other pieces, you rotate wide receivers all the time. What's the difference? Take Christian McCaffrey. I get it. He's a threat. Understood. But when you run it he's not the guy up the middle. And they're playing the outside zone. They're taking that away. Those don't work anymore. I don't know if you know. We said it was Debo's fault. It's not. I told y'all. Outside zone isn't working. This is not. It's not Debo being able to get, Christian McCaffrey can't get to the outside. They got to go inside first and then cut outside. So somehow the blocking isn't off. So that's part on the offensive line too. So it's not just the running backs. It just needs a facelift. It needs something different. It needs a makeover, basically. And I think they have the pieces to do it. The question is Kyle going to make the change? I don't know. Next part says Kyle seemed defeated. Oh my gosh, I wonder where we've heard that before. In the presser. Then you even added in the presser.
Yep.
I didn't even watch this presser, but when he found out that Brock Purdy was out, that's the defeat. I saw it. It was written all over his face.
Exactly. He don't have to say a word.
You don't have to say a word. We need a spark. We do. And that's why I keep saying it's not over. Will Kyle Shanahan find somebody that will allow somebody, to be a spark? George Kittle came and was like a breath of a lifesaver, right? 6 for 6 on his targets, 82 yards, got the touchdown, only touchdown for the 49ers. But he's not the spark we're talking about. They know about him. It's got to be somebody that's unknown. That's why that trick play even worked. They didn't know we were doing it. So you got to bring in a player that's kind of like, that they're just not prepared for. I think teams and defenses, Peachy, come out extra prepared, and everybody want to stick it to Kyle. Everybody. You know what they probably be saying? We embarrassed that ass on national TV. It was the game of the week. Matt LaFleur is probably out celebrating like they just won the NFC Championship game.
Yep. He definitely is. I'm sure on their page and everywhere where Green Bay stuff is at, they're going to have this huge locker room celebration because they got their revenge on the Niners for putting them out of the playoffs last year for one. So, because they literally felt like that they were cheated in that game and that they should have won that game. So they finally got their revenge and all that. I did want to make a comment about the coaching on another level. Special teams. And so yesterday, Breezy, when we were watching whenever me and my family was watching the Buckeye game and our special teams, the reason why I said that was because John was at that game. John Lynch was at the game yesterday.
Okay.
And I had put this joke on Twitter and I said, maybe he's scouting our special teams coaches.
Oh.
We man,
I wish he'd get some more of them players, but maybe.
Goodness, because
we still, you know what? I definitely want a new special teams coordinator.
Yes.
but we definitely need better pieces.
That's true too.
I don't know. We need better. Plus, I ain't been paying attention to the other team's special teams, but it just seemed like our special teams just ain't it. We need a return guy. We need a guy that can just be fast. What we saw in that Dallas Cowboy game from Turpin, this motherfucker hit the spin button before anybody even got to him. It's like he went. You know what he did? He went Tasmanian Devil. If anybody creates that out there, you heard it right here. He spun
Sure did.
and then made everybody miss running in a straight line. I don't know if he made himself dizzy to not be touched, but it was so weird to watch.
He had them dizzy. Like they were literally dizzy.
I thought he had himself dizzy.
Spinning around him.
Because he ran so straight, nobody could touch him. All I'm saying is we need a spark like that. We got, to be honest, we don't get it consistently. Debo doesn't play special teams. He's not that guy. But he showed grit and he got it. Like you finally got what we needed, an explosive return. It would have been a first one all season long. Mm-hmm. The other preseason stuff don't count. So it would have been like, yes, and it got negated by a silly penalty. 49ers throwback. We got a couple of super chat contributions before we jump off here. Says Debo declined to speak to the media per Eric Branch.
Yep.
Hey, man, look. I wouldn't have spoke to the media either.
Right. But I'm trying to tell you, Breezy, that with this team, I'm telling you, it's also mental. Like there's something going on. There's something. I'm not saying Kyle's lost the locker room. That's not what I'm saying. But I do feel like it's just coming apart mentally. There's just some crazy things going on. I know Debo had to be so defeated when he ran all those yards, doing everything he possibly could, and then it got called back. That would have been defeating.
I didn't even think
for
about
me
that.
Too. Like how bad that would have been. Like
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think that. I wonder if he went over and mushed Eric Solberg. Just curious. At this point, you might as well just mush
somebody
everybody.
needs to do something because that dude right there needs to, man.
But that's my point. Like we're a misunderstood group. Not misunderstood. We're just misidentified. We don't know who we are. And that's what the struggles are. You can't we can't sit here and say, can't talk about how we sucked and this person dropping the pass and this person doing this. Yeah, we could talk about all of that, but at the end of the day, this team made so many mistakes. That's not a mistake. Drop pass, not a mistake. That's just a drop pass. I'm talking about the mistakes. I'm talking about turning over the ball. I'm talking about penalties. I'm talking about just mistakes. This team doesn't play mistake-free football, which is weird because they weren't ranked high. They're ranked actually one of the highest non-penalized teams in the NFL. But mistakes, you're starting to see them. It's coming down to December football. December football is here, y'all. The next game is December 1st. We got 5 games in December. 5 games in December. We got a couple more super chat contributions, and then we have one comment I would like to end the show off on, if that's cool with you. Ute now. It felt good to see Kyle get set up tonight. You think Kyle got set up tonight?
Got upset?
Upset tonight? Yeah. I don't think this was an upset, though. I think Kyle knew he was going to get beat. At the moment, I knew.
I just don't think that he thought that it was going to be that bad because you
don't
could tell
matter,
at
man.
the end of the game the way he looked. I literally don't think that he thought that it was going to look like that.
But does it matter how bad you get beat? Getting beat is getting beat. I don't think Kyle came into this game knowing he was going to win the moment he knew he wasn't going to have Brock Purdy. Like the moment he knew he wasn't going to have his guy out there starting was when he looked defeated. Remember I said that? So I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think he knew. I don't think he had a game plan, and I think it all had to really work for them to come out victorious. Remember, he would have probably been surprised to see Brandon Allen go out there and help his team get to a victory.
Right.
So I don't think they were upset. Well, clearly they weren't because it was in the favor of the Packers, right? But if the Niners would have won, they would have upset the Packers. But Kyle I really think Kyle at this point is just saying,
That's what it seems like anyway.
That's just kind of what it seems like to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So thank you for the Super Chat contribution. My man Troy, what's going on, baby? 21 months in the building. Endless love, Breezy and Peachy. Appreciate you, dog. Hope all is well with you. Peachy, this week we got to prepare for the Buffalo Bills. And do you go into this game with a glimmer of hope? I'm just curious to know. Damn.
Not me.
Okay, let me rephrase that. If Brock Purdy plays, do you go into this game with a glimmer of hope?
No. If Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, and Brock Purdy play,
the whole kit caboodle.
Then I will have a glimmer of hope.
So if Brock is out there with no Trent, you're no hope. If okay, let's say Brock and Nick plays, no Trent.
No, because I believe that this O-line just don't move the same whenever they don't have Trent. Like it's just different. Trent covers up so many bad deficiencies on that offensive line. Just himself.
So does Nick Bosa, though. We just saw it.
Yeah, on the defense.
Wait, but I'm saying that's how important they are to the line.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Because the pressures, and the run defense, right? But definitely got to give a shout out. Leonard Floyd did get 2 sacks in the game. He did finish the game with 2 sacks. So we'll give Leonard Floyd his props. But I get what you're saying. Like I'm just. And I wonder how everybody feels. I think everybody out here just really knows that the season is over, and they watching us just to, because I'm going to be optimistic. I can't help it. So I have a glimmer of hope. But until we lose the game, we ain't lose the game. But we should not be favored. I don't think the 49ers are going to be favored in any game.
We were.
We were favored in every game. But I don't think they're going to be favored in any more games. Maybe the Bears.
I don't know about that one either. We'll see.
Maybe the Bears. Miss Cynthia in the building. She says, Breezy and Peachy, depressing game, my mood. Go. I'm going to buy you a drink. Not me. You know what I do when I'm depressed? I shut everybody off and I just get into bed. And I put on a Hallmark movie. I'm on my Hallmark shit. It's Christmas time. It's holiday season, and they put out the best holiday movies. I can't front. So, you know what I'm about to do? As soon as we finish this, I'm about to go get in my bed and put on a Hallmark and watch some Christmas movies so I could be happy and get in the spirit of giving. That's it. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. So when we lose, I do these shows, and then I go Hallmark. When we win, I do these shows, and I go Hallmark. At the end of the day, I'm going Hallmark. Now that I think about it, so I'm not even depressed anymore, Miss Cynthia. Like I've accepted that this is the Niners. These are the Niners of 2024. These are the Niners. Thank you for the super chat contribution, and I think we got one more. So you know what, Queen KB, we'll get to that. I want to get these super chats out the way. Youth now. Another super chat contribution. He says he got upset about the penalties. Oh,
got you.
Oh,
mad
he got upset.
Got you.
Oh, I can't wait to watch. I can't watch that stuff tonight. I don't want to.
Oh, he's talking about the
presser.
Too many men on the field whenever they show Kyle screaming.
How? Wait a minute. How? Okay.
Twice. That That was bad.
How?
That was so bad.
Okay, the first time I get it. And the first time you got lucky because they had a penalty, so they offset. So Peachy, that means there was a official timeout. Right? That means, hold on. Move this back a little bit. There's an official timeout for you to not have 12 men on the field again. So how does Nick Sorensen allow the same thing? This junk had to be scripted. Ain't no way. Hell no. Ain't no way. You mean to tell me that happened not once but twice in a row?
That's when I knew that this game was just out of control because Kyle was screaming like he literally lost it. He literally lost it.
I was so perturbed of that. I didn't see any reaction. I probably put my phone down and just put my head down. I tweeted it. I said, how, Sway? Like, I got the first one. And for those that don't understand what happens in football, when offense makes their substitutions, the defense gets the time to make the substitutions. But somebody miscommunicated. And I'm blaming Nick, but whoever wasn't supposed to be out on the football field, I'm coming for that ass. Because that right there should never happen. Right? Because what would have happened? And you know what? And I don't even know if we could have called the timeout to fix it. Because we were just coming off of a timeout.
Yep.
Like an official time, because the play was dead because of the offsetting penalties. So Kyle probably couldn't even waste the timeout in that situation. I don't know, man.
I think that's why he was so mad. Like, he was literally screaming. So mad.
I don't know. Queen KB, Peachy, you go ahead and read this. We'll touch on this a little bit, and then we'll dip on out.
Thank you, Queen KB, for the comment. They get rid of the black defensive coordinator, but none is being said about this year's defensive coordinator.
Oh, it's being said on this show.
Yes, definitely being said on this show right here.
I don't know.
We've been calling for Sorensen's job now for a long time.
I gave him 6 weeks. He got 6 weeks from me, right? And if you go and look at all 6 of those games, the first 6 games, right? His defense always had a brain fart.
Mm-hmm. Always had one. I gave him 3 weeks. I was ready for him to be ousted after the Vikings game.
So that's 2. That was week 2. So like my thing is this. When he gave up that explosive, when his defense gave up that explosive play, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because we had new players coming in, and I thought there was bad communication there. And then he got Huff back a little bit, and then Huff got hurt like 2 games after. It was like, it's just been a weird year. But I'm at this point, he's throwing out the wrong coverages. So even in this game, we get beat on zone. So because we got beat on zone, he doesn't go to the zone defense again. He switches to man. Guess what? Get beat on man. So it's just like, bruh, I think his scheme or whatever he's doing is confusing the hell out of these players. And I think some of these players, for one or two, are young, right? They're new, and too old to fit this defense. And then when you look at Devondre Campbell, and man, you see he doesn't have the speed to cover. And then you look at Fred Warner, he's getting lost. So Nick has Nick is about as bad as Kyle Shanahan's on the offense at this point. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying Kyle got to go, but they both could go somewhere. Maybe they need to go to Cabo and figure it out.
It's something. I don't know. I know that Nick won't be back. I know that much.
I hope not.
Because I'm telling you, whenever Kyle, like, when he was screaming like that, I bet you that if he could get rid of Sorensen now, he probably would get rid of him now. But you might as well not get rid of him now. You might as well let him go ahead and finish out the season, because I'm sure that he knows he ain't going to be back. He knows he ain't going to be back.
Let me just say that when it came to Steve Wilks, I had issues with his third down defense. he did struggle on third downs. But overall, his defense was always better. His defense made plays on the ball. His defense didn't drop passes that were thrown to him. He had Gibson out there over, you know what I'm saying? So like that probably helped. But like when it came to like situational football, like third and long, like he would always do the wrong. In the Vikings game last year, he does the all-out blitz and gives up the big play. But his guy was in position to make the play. Mooney just doesn't come with the interception. So it's so weird. But in the playoffs is where he really started to struggle. We couldn't stop the run. I don't know if you remember the playoff run from last year, but Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit. Did we play not Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit? They were gashing us up.
Oh, yeah.
On the ground, you know?
Yep.
And so, but I still think he wasn't the issue, is what I'm trying to say. But they made him the issue. They made him the scapegoat. He's no longer with us. They hired within, and we're all seeing how that's panning out.
Right.
We went from a top-tier defense to like a mid defense. And we were top in interceptions. We were tied for first in interceptions. We dropped 2 interceptions in this game.
Oh, God. And then the one that was in the end zone that got caught, but because of a penalty on the free play, Who
made that penalty? Tell me what the call was. Because you're right, it was a free play, so it had to be offsides or.
I think it was offside.
It had to be offsides or something for it to be a free play. I can't remember that penalty.
That's why he threw it.
Right, he had the
way that he did,
right,
because it was a free play.
Yeah,
he knew that it was going to be called offside. Because that could have been one right there. There were some crazy things that happened in this game today. It's messed up, man.
I don't think that play there was offsetting penalties. There was a play where he threw the interception. We got the interception, but it came back because of something we did. But maybe it was. I thought the offset penalties was a different play. That was the first.
That one was just on us, I thought, but I don't know.
There was the offset penalty plays. I thought was the.
I don't remember.
The one where it was the 12. Was that the 12 men on the field play? That might have been the 12 men on the field play. That was the 12 men on the field play. There it is. That's what I thought. Yep. That was the 12 men on the field play. It offset. They had a penalty. We had a penalty. And then on the next one, we got the penalty. We gave it back, right back to him. Like we gave him the yards. All right, Chubb, listen. I don't know what my video game has to do with anything. Like it's a simulation game. Mm-hmm. The Niners never win in the simulation anyway. If you've been watching all of them, it's like they're actually fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? Because it's actually more fun to watch the Madden sim than it is to watch the 49ers play football. Mm-hmm. It's nail-biting. It comes down to the end. Let's go! Right? And so it's I don't think my Madden is doing anything. You know what I mean? But if y'all feel like it's doing something, then fine. Oh, he said no, that wasn't the 12. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know what to tell. I do it because I get joy out of it, like, you know, and we get to have a casual conversation.
Yes, we just get to hang out.
We just get to hang out for a couple of hours. Yep. That's the best part of it. And to see the 49ers win is the glimmer of hope that some of us need to get through the week. So, Chubb, I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm not going to throw it away because it costs me too much money. I don't throw stuff away.
Right.
But I understand your take on it. Well, Peachy, another loss in the 49ers book.
Yep.
And an embarrassing loss at that. Mm-hmm. And I got to do a Wayne Breezy show in the morning or in the afternoon. And, you know, I think I'm going to try to call. I'm going to let y'all call in because I don't have shit to say at this point.
And I think that's a great idea, just to give them a little therapy so they can get some things off their chest.
Yeah.
And their opinions about stuff. I think that's great. Before we go, I just want to say that for anybody who is going to this Buffalo game, because I've heard a lot of people say that they're not going to the Buffalo game now, that are going to be bearing them cold elements, make sure that you bundle up. And I really do hope that the 49ers give the ones that are going a win, because there is nothing like being in the cold, bitter weather and having to leave with a loss. So Just say it. I hope that that's the case. I do want everyone in the chat and everyone else. Today is Breezy's wife's birthday. So we need to wish her a happy birthday for the remainder of the birthday she got left and everything. And glad that Breezy was able to still do his normal job. So we thank her for that, for allowing him to do that for us today.
It's not my fault her birthday fell on a Sunday. On a football Sunday at that.
Yeah.
Not my fault. But listen, man, maybe it shouldn't fall. Maybe that's why we lost.
No, do not do that, Breezy. You are not doing that.
That's what I'm going to do.
You are not going to blame Ricky for that.
That's why we
I'm
lost.
not going to let you do it.
Because her birthday fell on the Sunday that the Niners played. That's
now
you know what?
You sound like those people that was on Twitter that was saying because number 10 was on the field.
Were they really on Twitter saying that?
Yes.
Oh, y'all are garbage, man. So because that is crazy.
I'm
you know what?
you.
Wow. Like he gotta go, man. Like I if I'm him, I don't want to be here anymore. Like fire me. Yeah, because he's never gonna be able to live it up.
You just have to get rid of the 10. Just change
jerseys. No. He dropped. We talk about the Rams game. That pass was crucial.
I know that was.
He's got to catch. Guys got to catch the ball.
He does have to catch it.
You know what I mean? But that was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so because he was, and I was making that up. Like, I was like, I bet you people are saying because he was on a football field, that's why Debo dropped that. I was really making that up. But you said that they were really on Twitter saying,
yeah,
damn.
On there saying
Poor Ronnie Bell, man. What? Like, can I ask everybody a question out there? Let's just say Kyle doesn't get rid of Ronnie Bell, right? What does Ronnie Bell have to do to gain the respect back from the faithful, besides change his number? Because I know that's number one. I think people rather him change his number more than he catch a pass. But like, besides change his number, like, what else does he have to do?
I think he just needs a more experience. I think that these vets that are on this squad, which I wasn't trying to go down this route, but I'm going to. These vets are supposed to be, like working with these young wide receivers and all these different things.
I'm liking the comments.
I just don't see that. You just can't see it on the field. You just can't.
You know who I didn't see that from? Jawan Jennings. He was fucking ass. He dropped every pass. Y'all remember that guy? And then he started getting opportunities like Peachy just said.
Yep.
Then he became third in Jawan.
Mm-hmm.
He started to understand his offense. And now look at him.
Yeah.
He's damn near number one wide receiver in the NFL. And he's the 49ers number one wide receiver. But people forget that sometimes players, Jawan Jennings was cut from this team.
Yep.
And he worked his way back, and now everybody loves him. I'm not saying, but he had to do something. He had to ball out. He had to show. We could go back 2 seasons ago and with Mose, and Mose didn't like him. Remember?
Not at all. Yeah.
And I know Mose, you watching, but I'm not snitching. I'm keeping it a buck.
Yeah.
So, like, he became a third down guy, and now he's the guy. I'm not saying Ronnie Bell will be the guy, but I like what everybody is saying out there. He's got to go out there and just catch the game-winning TD, ball out, hold on to the ball. You're right. Like,
yeah. Now I get what
pocket
people
the
are
cheesecake.
saying,
You're right too. Like, this is what these dudes did.
Do we remember that game against the Giants?
No.
When Bell came in?
No. When Brandon Ayuk was injured?
Yes.
No, they don't remember that game.
When he came in and subbed, he played very well in that game.
Yeah. He caught 3 touchdowns in that game. Did he catch 3 touchdowns or 3 passes? Felt like he caught a touchdown. Felt like he caught 3 touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns in his career. I think he caught 3 touchdowns in that game.
I mean, you gotta have experience, and you have to be able to play. Kyle's not. I mean, you gotta insert these
it's a
guys
tough
so
group.
they can play. They gotta be out there.
But when you get the opportunity, though,
You have to make the most of it. Of course you do.
And he got those opportunities. I just wish the faithful wouldn't give up on guys so easily. I just feel like if we don't make a play or if we miss, everybody they want to give up on everybody. It's like then we ain't gonna never have anybody because I don't think anybody out there is gonna be perfect.
That have been really playing as well as they should have. Not these wide receivers.
I just, I don't know if the offense is evolving. I don't know if it's shifting on us right before our eyes. It could be doing a whole bunch of different things, but I just hope that when the guys go out there and their numbers called, they just make the best of it. I mean, we watched the veteran wide receiver and Debo dropped a couple of passes. We've watched, today. I mean, just about today. Like, I didn't think the offense was not good. And it's okay to say that the offense wasn't good. It's okay. But did we come in here expecting the offense to be good? Because now, if Brock Purdy was playing and the offense played this poorly, that's a different conversation. But this was a backup quarterback that got you 199 yards. He had 3 turnovers, but he got you 199 yards. He had 2 turnovers, but he got you 199 yards. So you just take these games, I take these games with a grain of salt. And if we go out here with the same group, it's possibly we'll get the same result. But then there's also a small possibility that they'll have another game together. Maybe Trent Williams is playing that game. Maybe the blind side will be a little bit different. I don't know. I thought Jalen Moore played really well today too, by the way, but I ain't watched the film yet. Right. So, it's not even a tough loss. I think what makes this loss bad is the simple fact that, damn, if we had won this game, our hopes and dreams of the playoffs was a lot.
We needed it, and that's why now it sucks. Because this game was such a must-win. Because, like I said at the beginning of the show, we've dropped these games that we should not have dropped.
Good point.
This part of the season is basically like when I had what our record was going to be. This is when I thought we would start slipping up a little bit. Is in this part of our season.
This is the gauntlet. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I think that's why it's so horrible. It's because if we had done that, then we wouldn't be in this position. If these players couldn't play, they'd be like, oh, well, we still got this and that, whatever. But these are must-win games. And I think that's why it's so bad.
And Joe, this is how we'll end the show. He said that Kyle tanked the game before it even started. Because somebody in this chat said that Kyle said in the presser that he made the announcement of Brandon Allen's finger being broken. And I ain't heard nothing.
I told you, liar.
About a broken finger. I ain't heard nothing about a broken finger. The first time we seen it was during the pregame. Like Peachy said, the first time I saw it was actually in the game. Come on now. So, starting Brandon Allen, Kyle, any way we can get Travis Hunter on this team? Because I'm about that life. And
Me too.
if we can get the Panthers to win, even though they lost, if we can get one of these teams to win, these teams that stink win, Patriots, come on up. You know what I'm saying? If we can get these teams, we might be. But we got to lose out.
Right.
Got to lose out.
Yep.
Now I tell you what, I don't even want Travis Hunter. You know who I want?
Who do you want?
Your wide receiver from Ohio State.
It would be nice for us to get one of them because they always wind up in the freaking NFC West for some reason with another team.
Guys, we're not drafting any wide receivers in the first round. It will be defensive something on defense. So
that's probably what it'll.
He said it's past my bedtime. What I say wrong now? I'm always saying something past my bedtime. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's past my bedtime. I know what we need. I know we're going to get one of those two things for sure. We're not going to draft wide receivers anymore. But I would like to get an Ohio State wide receiver. I feel like they make it in the NFL. Like, that's one position you can count on to make
wide receiver you
in the NFL. That's just my take on it. I don't think we should stay away from Ohio State. Please, we should just draft the wide receivers. We got a good defensive end. I think he's still good. I think Nick Bosa's top tier. That's the best piece we've drafted from Ohio State. But we'll see what happens. I still think the Niners, because they're not mathematically out, have an opportunity. The question is, will they take advantage of it? Peachy, it's been real. Everybody out there, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Nitty Gritty Niners Talk, the reaction show. Oh, man. Sucks that y'all didn't watch this game. But thank y'all for the super chats. We appreciate you, man. And we'll see you on the next one. Hey.
Breezy, gritty, this that Niners
Mo's nose.
Peachy,
Fair to gone.
It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to gone. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you Nine Tone. We two gorilla, silverback, nah, silver
You know it's
hoes.
busting good discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's nose, and Fair to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the Niners Talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners Talk. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners Talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners Talk. Niners Talk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners Talk.